वैष्णवांश्च रूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुष्ये नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our discussion from the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Invisible?
Yes, Raji.
Okay. Yeah. So we are discussing this chapter conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita and the summary of the Bhagavad Gita, the perfection of renunciation, moksha yoga. So first section we saw that section was about the karma section, the first six chapters summary from verse 1 to 12, and we have completed this 1 to 12 verses and then moved to the next, that is 13 onwards, the jnana section. So initially Krishna gave the definition about sannyas and tyaga, what are the other opinions and what is his opinion, that we discussed. And 13th onwards, we jnana, summary of the jnana section, chapter 13 to 18. And the last session we discussed from uh, 20 till 28th verse. So we are doing this third section currently, where we are discussing the summary of the yoga ladder. So second section was about the jnana summary. Jnana sec That means 13 to 17 chapters was discussed in 13 to 18 verses. And now 19th onwards, the third section starts summary of, and in this we saw that various activities, knowledge or place, all passion, ignorance, we were discussing about things. In this, we have verse number 20, the worker and notes, yeah, the action, activity, worker. This we have this mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. So 28th verse we just completed. Ignorance, and their characteristics discussed. Now today we will do 20th. Yes, Krishna, you want to read? We will recite the shloka. Yeah, first. Edam eva स्त्रीविद शृणु रोच्यमाणम् अशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय. Yes, Raji, please read. Rajananda Krishna Prabhu. Please read.
So it's 23rd verse, right?
What you are seeing on the screen? Which verse?
It's 20th verse.
Huh? Which
20th.
29 I am sharing.
Oh, oh.
Y-
Yeah, it's
you-
visible now.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Oh, winner
My
of wealth.
voice is breaking.
No, Prabhuji. It is clear now.
Prabhuji,
Okay,
I
but
think
internet is
the screen is delayed, maybe. Not sure. Even I was not able to see 29 first.
okay.
It was 28.
Okay, okay.
It is. Now it's
Okay.
29 on screen.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, please read the translation.
O winner of wealth, now hear from me in detail and separately the threefold differences of the understanding and of determination according to the modes of material nature as they are described by me.
Yeah, thank you. One minute. Yeah. Yeah. So here Krishna is saying, oh winner of wealth, he is addressing Arjuna as Dhananjaya. So Dhananjaya is Dhanam Jaya, the winner or the procurer or the receiver of wealth, like that. Shrinu here from me. Aseshena. Okay. So without anything remaining. Okay. So this was also the term used in seventh chapter, first verse. Okay. Asation and almost similar verse. There also Krishna says, hear from me, and after hearing which nothing else will remain to be heard. Okay. In detail and separately. Prithaktvena. The threefold differences. Trividham Bhedam. The Bhedam about what? First, Buddhe, the understanding or the intelligence. Okay, intelligence. Prabhupada has written in word to word intelligence. That is first thing. The differentiation or the categorization of Buddha. Then what else? Second is determination. Dhritaya, the determination. Okay, what are the classification of the determination? According to the modes of material nature. Okay, so the differences in the understanding as well as the determination according to the three modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, they will be described by me now. Now, I think there is no purport to this of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, this is next verse. 1 minute, let me just check if there is any purport in that 29th verse. Okay, yeah, there is one line. Now, after explaining knowledge, the object of knowledge and the knower. So Krishna explained these three things, right? Jnanam, Geyam, and Jnanagamyam in three different divisions according to the modes of material nature. The Lord is explaining the intelligence and determination of the worker in the same way. Okay. Yeah. Next verse 30. Yeah. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बंधम मोक्षम च या वेत्ति बुद्धि सा पार्थ सात्विकी. Continue, Prabhuji, please read.
O son of Pratha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be pursued and what is to be avoided, what is fear and fearlessness, bondage and liberation, is in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, so all these things, basically, these items, first is he is explaining about the understanding. Okay, buddhi. Okay, so buddhi is explaining in what mode? In the satviki categorization, in the satviki mode. Okay, in the mode of goodness. So by this, what are the characteristics? By this, what will one be able to do? One who knows, sorry, by this, what will happen? One knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. Karya, akarya. Okay, this is karya, akarya. And pravrittim and nivrittim. What is to be done, what is not to be done. And third is bhaya, abhaya. What is fear and what is fearlessness. And what is bandham and what is moksham. What is bondage, what is liberation. Okay, so that is the understanding in mode of goodness. Yeah, please read.
Performing actions in terms of the directions of the scriptures is called pravritti, or executing actions that deserves to be performed, and actions which are not so directed are not to be performed. One who does not know the spiritual directions become entangled in the actions and reactions of work. Understanding which discriminates by intelligence is situated in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, so this person is situated in the mode of goodness who has these three discriminations: action, which is done as per the direction of the scriptures, that is called pravritti. Okay, or executing actions that deserve to be performed, that is, these are nitya karma, obligatory duties, they are to be done. So that understanding he has, that intelligence he has, mode of goodness person. The action which is to be done and which is to not to be done, karya, akarya. Okay, one does not know the scriptural directions, becomes entangled in the actions and reactions of the work. So work done as per the instructions of the scriptures, as per the level of the person, then it becomes the source of liberation. Yeah, understanding which discriminates by intelligence is situated in mode of goodness. Yeah, yeah. Please read.
In 3 verses, the Lord describes intelligence according to 3 gunas. That intelligence which knows what to do, dharma, and what not to do, adharma, which knows that nishkama karma should be performed and sakama karma should not be performed, which knows fear of doing what is not mentioned in the scriptures and knows no fear of doing what is prescribed by the scriptures, which knows the nature of samsara and what destroys it, that intelligence is in the mode of goodness. The sentence structure should actually be that knowledge by which one knows dharma and adharma. The instrument is used as an agent, as when we say the axe cuts the tree, when we mean that the man cut the tree using the axe.
Yeah. So basically, this intelligence which is in goodness, what all characteristics it has. So first is he knows uh, what to do, that is dharma, and what not to be do. Okay, so what is to be done? So nishkama karma, because this is the section on jnana yoga description for the jnana yoga person. This one. So nishkam karma he will be performing, and then going to the next stage, that is jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga. So that nishkam karma should be done and sakam karma should not be done. Basically, he has to avoid that activity which has motivation or which has some goal that I want to go to higher planet, like that. This is karya akarya. Okay, like that. Similarly, it tells about that which is to be feared of, what is not to be feared of. So, what should never fear of doing the his own prescribed duties, but paradharma bhayavaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the other's duty one should be very fearful of doing, even if he is able to do it perfectly. And later also, this section, this verse will come later. Same thing, that how one should not be trying to do others' duty, even though he can do it nicely and perfectly. Okay, so bhaya abhay. So one should never be fearful in doing his own duty. What is prescribed to him as per his level, or as per his situation in the mode of passion, goodness, or ignorance. So knowing that whichever mode he is in, he will be elevated to the next mode if he does his prescribed duty. Okay, so and also what is the nature of samsar, and so that he can overcome the bandha. the basically the bondage, and that which destroys it. Yeah. Next, 31st. Yaya dharmam. Yeah, Dayame Devaki Mataji. Yeah. You have any question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna
Yeah.
Chaitanya. Prabhuji, my question is, uh, previously there was a proper categorization of caste and everything, so that one knows ki this is my task, and others task also was known. But
What was
right now
known?
in the
Task.
task, like what is to be done
Work.
right now,
Okay.
just read now that your duty one should perform, but not others' duty or others' work should not be performed. Even one
Correct.
can do it perfectly also.
Hmm.
But nowadays, Prabhuji, it is very much a mixture that we don't
Hmm.
know what, uh, being a devotee, we can do so many services, but this is not
Hmm.
bifurcated like which service, and as a devotee, like we like aspiring devotee, we feel that whatever best we can serve, however best we can serve, and whichever way we can do, we feel like we should do it. So is it a wrong attitude, like wanting to serve in a best way and choosing something which is very best for us? Even this is getting confusing for me, like how to choose our services then. Um,
Yeah. Basically, Prabhupada, he told always that whichever service, and he engaged also his disciples in that way. If he sees letters and his personal instructions with devotees, that whichever thing they were more good at, so Prabhupada used to engage them in that. Okay, like Garg Muni Prabhu, he was good at business, so he engaged him in that way. Giriraj Maharaj was good at literary works, so he engaged him in writing. Like that, Prabhupada engaged many of his disciples as per their already acquired talent or skill, like that. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he engaged in particular way. So like that, he engaged many devotees in many ways, like that. So whichever inclination they have, that they engage in. And apart from that, they may develop some inclinations as they go on in devotional service. So that also they engage in later, like, yeah. So many examples are there like that. So for devotees as such, as beginning of the question you were asking that the proper categorization of task we don't have now, it's very confusing. Yeah, because that is nature of Kali Yuga, that the proper Varnashrama dharma will not be able to be followed, because there is always almost everybody like Shudra, and there is a lot of mixture in that also. So basically, the point is that even in the case of devotees, yeah, actually, in the case of devotees, they are not divided as per the caste system in the sense of Varna and Ashrama. The devotees, when they do some menial service or some cleaning service in the temple, it's not that they are like Shudra devotees. Those who are doing Pujari services, they are Brahmana devotees, or those who are doing teaching service, they are Brahmana devotees. So it's not like that. Devotees are not categorized in Varnashrama categories, basically. They may be externally as a brahmachari, sannyasi. Otherwise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says obviously that Naham, basically all the eight things he takes name, that I am not belonging to any of these. And Srila Prabhupada also many times he told. And actually, then we many times hear this argument that no, Prabhupada told 50% of my mission is not fulfilled. I want to establish Varnashma Dharma for this purpose, that only 50% is fulfilled, and many devotees have different opinion on that. So yeah, so basically Varnashma Dharma is not meant for devotees. Prabhupada very clearly told many places, and many of the devotees also have told. I will show one reference here. Okay, and this is from this book, Ocean of Mercy, from Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. He was personal servant of Srila Prabhupada, and he was doing massage of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada was speaking to him at that time. Okay, so there he cites this basically conversation, and he says that what was Prabhupada's idea about this establishing Varnashrama, and is 50% of this, and how it is uh, meant for the audience which is not ISKCON devotees basically. You are able to see screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Okay, read this from here.
To help Prabhupada relax at night, I would massage his feet, and as I did, he would often talk to me. One night, sitting up on his bed as I gave him a gentle massage, he lamented, "There is so much to do, but I have become so sick that I'm not able to do anything." Srila Prabhupada, I said, "What you have done is inconceivable. No one has ever achieved what you have. You should not think that there is anything left that you must do. Now you should just relax. What I have done is 50%," he said. "The other 50% is to establish Varnashram Dharma, the Vedic organization of society into four social and four spiritual orders." I did not know what to say, so I remained silent. "ISKCON is for the devotees," he said, "but not everyone will become a devotee. Not everyone will be able to surrender to Krishna. For those who will not, who will continue to act according to the modes of material nature, in order to situate them in a proper human culture, we need Varnashram Dharma." He spoke like this for quite a while. I understood some of what he said, but much of it flew over my head. Clearly, establishing Varnashram Dharma was not going to be easy or simple, but neither had what Srila Prabhupada had already accomplished. No one,
Neither, yeah, continue. Yeah.
but neither had what Srila Prabhupada had already accomplished. No one had ever achieved what he had. Even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had predicted that the holy name would spread around the world to every town and village, had not done it himself. He had left that for one of his very special devotees, Srila Prabhupada. And now, to expand his achievement, we had to spread Varnashram Dharma all over the world, to every town and village.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I wanted to highlight this portion. So here Prabhupada is saying, basically Bhakti Swami Maharaj is rephrasing what Prabhupada said. Many times we read only this much.
Mm.
What I have done is 50%, and the other 50% is to establish Varnashram Dharma. And we generally assume that this Varnashram Dharma, obviously, devotees have to follow, and devotees are supposed to be the beneficiary of this Varnashram Dharma, what Prabhupada wanted to do. Correct. So we generally think like that, but we don't read ahead, or we don't know, or the devotees don't speak the other part. Okay, if they have some personal motives to establish Varnashram Dharma, they want to emphasize it, so they will speak only this part. Okay, so but here it's very clearly said ISKCON is for devotees. So he said, but not everyone will become a devotee. Not everyone will be able to surrender to Krishna. For those who will not, who will continue to act according to the modes of material nature. Okay, in order to situate them in proper human culture, we need Varnashrama Dharma. Okay, so to give them the proper rules, regulations by which they will be able to worship Vishnu, because Varnashrama Acharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate Pantha Na Anya Tattosha Karanam. So Vishnu Aradhyate Pantha. So Varnashrama Acharvata. So the person who is situated in Varnashram Dharma, he will be able to worship Vishnu and then gradually elevate himself to pure devotional service, which is not part of Varnashram Dharma. Otherwise Prabhupada would have told, ISKCON, which is also part of Varnashram Dharma, is for devotees. Like that. ISKCON is separating from Varnashram Dharma. Two categories are made clearly, devotees and non-devotees. Okay, those who will not. Non-devotees, they will have Varnashram Dharma. Devotees, for them is ISKCON. So in ISKCON, do we have Varnashram Dharma? Yeah, externally we have. Not Varna, Ashrama, basically. That Grihastha Ashram, because that's externally we have to belong to a certain ashrama. Okay. But internally, no. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I don't belong to any of this. So is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying only for himself? No, we can read that purport of that verse. Okay, that is applicable to all the devotees. Prabhupada explains. So this is one thing, and there are many other references where we can say Prabhupada told, you can search pilot project. So he says that these are just for the devotees to set example. Prabhupada was talking in Mayapur to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he said that this Varnashrama project which I want to establish, devotees need to set a example for the outside world that how they should be able to practice Varnashrama Dharma. So sometimes he told that the devotee should be able to establish this so that we can set an example what the outsiders should be practicing. So there are many references like that. Okay. So my answer is to your question is that Varnashrama is not for devotees. They are doing it externally because they have to set example in the society, and internally it is not. Okay, so we should not be confused that what is our role, what is our duty. So our duty is very simple. That is in Navavida Bhakti. Okay, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Okay, Iti Pumsa Arpita Vishnu Bhakti Chetana Avalakshanaha. So this all things 19 we have to Pumsa Arpita Vishnu. We have to do Arpan to Vishnu, Krishna. That is what is our devotional service. In that there may be cleaning also, in that there may be cooking also, in that there may be taking care of children also, in that there may be occupational duty also, some IT job also. These all things externally may look like some Brahman activity or Pujari activity, teaching things. They may look like Brahman activities. No, these are all pure devotional activities which may look like that. Okay, so this is what I understand. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, just subsequent that Prabhuji, from this line that we should do our duty and we should not do others' duty. So,
Ah.
what we can, as a devotee, what we can like take it from this verse or this particular line?
No, no. This what we are discussing is not for devotees. What we are discussing now, this section, what is told. Okay. Basically, this line which is there, na, Nishkam Karma. Okay, I will read again. This thing what I told about Nishkam Karma, one should do. One should not do Sakam Karma. Not for devotees. Devotees are anyhow beyond all these things. Correct, na?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
told in this context. I did not tell for devotees.
Oh,
Okay, na? Yeah,
yes.
for devotees, what they should do is Navavida Bhakti, 64 Angas of Bhakti, which is explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, all these things we can do. What we should not do, that is told in 64 Angas only. What to be avoided, what to be done. Aparad should be avoided, Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad, all that is told already there. Okay, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just I want to understand this Varnashram Dharma, it actually facilitate and helps to practice the devotional service. So we are not a devotees, we are sadhakas, we are struggling. So to make our practice in a goodness, for to have a sattva gun, we require Varnashram Dharma. So that's why many times it feels very struggle during practicing devotional service because we are having the city culture and this corporate job. So that's why I understand that Varnashram Dharma is required to practice our devotional service.
Okay. So what is the question, Prabhu?
So the question is, so that's why many devotees are trying to establish the Varnashram Dharma so that everybody can practice peacefully devotional service.
Okay. Yeah, Prabhupada did not tell like that actually in his talks, in his descriptions. If you get a reference from Prabhupada, it will be good. I showed what Prabhupada told. He did not tell like that, na. He told Varnashma is for outside people, and for devotees there is ISKCON like that. He told already, correct, na? So you have any reference from Prabhupada
Yeah, I
like
don't
that?
have reference. That is
Yeah, and
my
you can search also later.
understanding.
Means I am not saying
Yeah.
that now you don't have. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see, and those who are here, from those whom you are hearing like this, you can ask them also. Do they have from Prabhupada like this that, or previous acharyas that we cannot practice devotional service because we don't have Varnashrama Dharma. And also, I don't agree with this thing that
No, we cannot practice.
devotees,
It's not
we
like
are
that,
not.
Prabhuji. We can
Yeah.
practice, but to
Okay.
make our practice favorable, so that
Okay.
there will be less number of fall downs, or we can practice peacefully and we can grow or advance in a spiritual life in a faster manner we need to be have
Yeah, yeah.
sattva gun. So for
Okay,
sattva
okay.
gun, varnashram dharma is required. Like that, I heard, but I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
get any
what,
reference.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
No, you can search also reference, no problem. You can take your time
Yeah.
and search also. But my only argument is Prabhupada did not speak all this philosophy. From where it is coming, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, no? So we need to be in goodness to practice devotional service. Goodness is conducive, but it is not that without it we cannot practice devotional service. Okay, so there are so many statements in Shastra also. Madhuri Kadamini first chapter itself speaks that Jnana karma, all are dependent on bhakti, and they are in goodness. But bhakti is beyond the three modes. So there are so many statements in Bhagavatam, Kapila section, and all that. Nirguna, bhakti is nirguna, like that. So you can see who all are speaking like that. You can check with them, because it's not generally. Prabhupada emphasized that until unless we have Varnashrama, we cannot practice. Otherwise, first Prabhupada would have established in America or India Varnashrama only. Then he would have started building temples and creating devotees, na? What do you say?
Yes, sir.
He did the opposite, na? Otherwise, first he created devotees, then he is saying at the end of his life, "Arey, I forgot to do Varnashrama 50%." Did Prabhupada forget it or what?
No, no, Prabhuji.
No, no.
But Prabhuji,
I'm not
after
saying to you, matlab, I'm saying to those who are
yeah,
speaking to you like this.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Prabhuji, like after Prabhupada disappeared, why there are so many fall downs happens?
Yeah, that is a different thing. That is not our discussion today.
No, no, but
Okay,
that is also one of the reason of they are not having goodness or not having varnashram dharma.
okay.
It's
How you
kind of
know that is the reason?
no, no, that is the argument. Means, I'm just thinking
Hmm.
about that. That
Okay,
that that may be one of the argument.
okay. Yeah. That is one of the argument. Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
That is, I don't think it is right. Okay.
okay,
Proper time also there were fall downs. Later after Prabhupada also it was there. It's not new. Okay. And after today also there will be there. Okay. It's not related to Varnashrama Dharma.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah. For that, we can study Madhurya Kadamini. It's already told. Okay, there are what are the reasons for fall down? Because devotees don't study, na? They speak all these ideas from their fertile brain. Okay, so then they study. You study third chapter of Madhurya Kadamini. Krishna Thakur explains why there are fall downs. What is the reason of all the unearthas in the heart? Okay, all this is explained there. So until unless we study, we'll be speaking all these things. Okay. And why we speak also, we have good motive because we come from some background. We have observed some things in society. We have seen some things. So we are born and brought up with some things. So then we bring that also in bhakti, which is not wrong, but we should be ready to change if it is not there in bhakti and something opposite is spoken. Otherwise, Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, there should have been one of the anga at least bhakti, that Varnashma Dharma. Correct. I can show you a verse where it is opposite. Rupa Goswami is saying that Varnashma is not part of bhakti. Okay. You want to see that?
no, no, Prabhuji,
Varnashma is not a,
I completely believe.
yeah, Varnashma is not a part of bhakti. It's not Anga bhakti. Directly he's saying that in the verse he's saying. Okay. So these all thoughts and ideas, and Prabhupada will never present something which is not there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is outside Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is opposite to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These all things will come because we don't study. Okay. And if we don't study and we hear from people, then we will also not know what is wrong, what is right. Okay. So that is what I can say. So
Okay,
people need to be educated and they should be speaking based on Shastra at least, not whatever comes to their thought. Okay. Is it okay, Proje?
yes, Prabhuji, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. So we were doing next verse 31. Okay. Okay. So later I will share that this reference is there about pilot project. Okay, that's there in the Mayapur. If when I get, I will share. So Prabhupada is saying there also that how devotees should be setting example for others. Okay, and they should be showing that Varnashma is uh, to be done for others, those who are people outside in the society, those who cannot directly practice devotional service. Okay, yeah, if I get, I will show here. Okay. Now, yeah. You are able to see screen? Is visible?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Now it is coming.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. 31. Yeah. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyam eva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. Yes, Chetan, bro, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. O son of Prutha, that understanding by which one imperfectly knows religion and irreligion, and also what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, is in the mode of passion.
Yeah, thank you. So now, understanding in mode of passion, Krishna is explaining. Yeah, so what it is, he's saying by which one imperfectly knows ayatha. What? Yathavat is perfectly. Ayathavat is imperfectly. Prajanati. Janati is to know. Prajanati is to know nicely. So he does not know perfectly what is to be done. Okay. Basically regarding religion and irreligion. Okay. Dharmam, adharmam. And also karyam, akaryam. As it was told previous verse about goodness, the person knows karyam, akaryam, bhayam, abhayam, and dharmam, adharmam. But this person, he does not know. Okay. That is in mode of passion. Okay. There is no purport in this. I think, let me check. Verse number 31. No? Okay. Somebody has book, can check also. Is there any purport?
No, Prabhuji.
Not there. No? Okay. ठीक है. Then we'll continue. 32. अधर्मं धर्मम् इति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धि सा पार्थ तामसी. Yeah, please continue.
O
Chetan.
son of
Yeah.
Prutha,
Yeah.
that understanding which being covered by illusion thinks irreligion to be religion and sees all things in the wrong direction is in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah. So now about the mode of ignorance, understanding in the mode of ignorance. So what it is here is saying is that understanding which being covered, tamasa avrita, covered avrita by illusion, tamasa, darkness, basically. Yeah, tamasa, illusion or darkness, or basically that which born of tamoguna. Okay, so what happens? He thinks a religion to be religion. Okay, what is adharma? He thinks is dharma. Okay, just like Hiranyakashipu, he made all those rules before which adharmi people can go to heaven. Okay, and those who are doing dharma will go to hell. Like that, he made the rules. Okay, so similarly here, this is mode of ignorance person understanding in the mode of ignorance. He is saying that irreligion is considered as is considered religion and sees all things in wrong direction. Viparit means he will consider karya to be akarya, not to be done, and akarya to be karya, and then bhaya to be abhaya, and abhaya to be bhaya, like that. All the things which is there in goodness, the opposite will be there in ignorance. Yeah, please read.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite of the way it should. It accepts religion which are not actually religion and rejects actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so everything basically works opposite as the goodness in the ignorance. Yeah, please read.
This verse describes intelligence in the mode of ignorance. That intelligence which takes everything in the opposite way, considering what is wrong, right to be wrong, and what is wrong to be right, considering what is supreme truth not to be the supreme truth, and what is not supreme truth to be the supreme truth, is intelligence in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, next 32, 33. Dhritya yaya dharyate manah pranendriya kriyaah yogena avyabhicharinya dhriti sapartha satviki. Now, after explaining the understanding or the intelligence in three modes, now dhriti, as Krishna told, now he is explaining dhriti, determination. Yeah, somebody else can read. Yes, Nimai Rajendra, you want to read? Translation?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please read.
O son of Pritha, Parth, that determination, Dhriti Satviki, by which one sustains Dharyate through unwavering yoga practice, Yogena Avyabhicharinya, the functions Kriya of the mind, Mana, life air, Prana, and senses, Indriya, is in the mode of goodness, Satviki.
Correct. Yeah. So now this is determination or dhriti in mode of goodness. So what are the characteristics? Here Krishna is speaking. By which one sustains dharyate. What? Uh, through unwavering yoga practice. Okay. What he sustains? The functions of the mind. Manah kriya. The prana, life air. The senses, the indriyas. Okay, these three. Yeah, please read the purport.
Yoga is a means to understand the Supreme Soul, one who is steadily fixed in the Supreme Soul with determination, concentrating one's mind, life, and sensory activities on the Supreme, engages in Krishna consciousness. That sort of determination is in the mode of goodness. The word avyabhicharinya is very significant, for it indicates that persons who are engaged in Krishna consciousness are never deviated by any other activity.
Yeah. So yoga, that which is told here in this verse, is a means to understand Supreme Lord Yuj. Basically, from Yuj Dhatu, Prabhupada speaks that. So he's saying connecting with God. One who is steadily fixed in Supreme Soul with dhriti, determination, and concentrating one's mind. Okay. Manodharana, prana, indriye. Okay. All these three words were used in the shloka. Engages in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, so this also can be applied to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada is saying. Okay, these all qualities can be applied. Okay, that sort of determination is in mode of goodness. Yeah. So the word avyabhicharinya is very significant. Yeah. So it indicates that those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness are never deviated by any other activity. Okay. Yeah, please read this.
Three verses now describe determination in the three modes. That determination is in the mode of goodness by which a person continues to engage the mind, pranas, and senses in the activities of yoga. What type of yoga is it? It is contemplating the Supreme Lord without accepting any other objects. Yogena avyabhicharinya.
Yeah. Yeah. So determination in the mode of goodness, by which person continues to engage mind, mana, prana, indriya hai, in activities of yoga, means Krishna consciousness. Okay, next verse. Yaya tu dharma kamarthan धृत्या धार्यते अर्जुन प्रसंगेण फलाकांक्षी धृति सा पार्थ राजसी. So now determination in mode of passion. Yeah, please read, Nimarajan. Continue.
But that determination, yayatu dhritya, by which one sustains dharyate because of attachment, prasangena, to religion, dharma, economic development, arthan, and sense gratification, kama, while desiring fruitive results, phala akankshi. O Arjuna, Arjun is determination in the mode of passion, sa partha rajasi.
Determination in mode of passion. What are the characteristics of such determination? So by this one sustains because attachment to religion, economic development, basically prasangena, okay, to dharma, artha, kama, all these three, okay, moksha, that will be in goodness. Yeah, while desiring fruitive results, falakankshi, some fruitive results, going to heaven like that, or wanting a child, or wanting something else. Oh, Arjuna is a mode of passion determination. Yeah, please read.
Any person who is always desirous of fruitive results in religious or economic activities, whose only desire is sense gratification, and whose mind, life, and senses are thus engaged in is in the mode of passion.
Yeah, so who always desirous of fruitive results. Okay, something is motivation is there for doing any activity. Okay, then it is mode of passion, dharma, artha, kama, all these three. And then he engages his mind, senses, and life here also in that similarly with the motivation of getting some result. Yeah. Yeah, please read this also.
That determination by which a desirer of results, falakankshi, by association with persons experienced in fulfilling their desires, prasangena, engages the mind, pranas, and senses in activities to attain dharma, artha, and kama, is determination in the mode of passion.
Yeah, same thing. Next, 35. Yaya swapnam bhayam sokam vishadam madam evacha na vimunchati durmedha dhriti sa partha tamasi. Yeah, so, yeah, Nimarajan, please continue this. Yeah.
And that unintelligent determination, durmedha dhriti sa tamasi, or O son of Pritha, Partha, by which one never gives up na vimunchati, dreaming swapnam, fearfulness bhayam, lamentation shokam, moroseness vishadam, and illusion or madness madam evacha, is in the mode of ignorance, tamasi.
Yeah, determination in mode of ignorance. So here what is said, what are the characteristics? By that kind of determination, by which one will never give up dreaming, swapanam, fearfulness, bhayam, lamentation, moroseness, illusion, madness, all these things. That is mode of ignorance determination. Yeah, please read.
It should not be concluded that a person in the mode of goodness does not dream. Here, dream means too much sleep. Dreaming is always present, either in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Dreaming is a natural occurrence. But those who cannot avoid oversleeping, who cannot avoid the pride of enjoying material objects, who are always dreaming of lording it over the material world, and whose life, mind, and senses are thus engaged are considered to have determination in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so these are all characteristics. So dreaming is there in goodness also, but it is not of the kind or in ignorance, like too much dreaming. Okay. Here, dream is too much sleep. Okay. Like Prabhupada told in one lecture, he was saying sleeping 10 hours, 12 hours, like that. So that is too much of sleep. Okay. So dreaming is always present. Yeah, for whichever mode it is. That is natural occurrence. Yeah. So those who cannot avoid oversleeping, who cannot avoid pride of enjoying material objects, the kama, okay, who are always dreaming or lording over the material world, all these things are in the ignorance, determination in ignorance. Yeah, please read this.
That determination is in the mode of ignorance by which the fool engages his senses, mind, and pranas in the action for sense objects, which are causes of sleep, fear, lamentation, depression, and arrogance arising from sense enjoyment, madam, and which brings these results is determination in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so in ignorance, he uses these senses, mind, prana for what? In actions of sense enjoyment, kama, bhoga vasana, ati nidra, bhaya, moha, all these things. Okay, arrogance, mother, like that. Okay, so now having described determination, now Krishna is speaking. Sukham tu idanim trividham shृणु me bharatarshava abhayasad ramate yatra dukkhantam cha nigacchati. Okay, somebody else can read. Yeah, Pratik, you want to read?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji. O best among the Bharatas, Bharata Rishabha, now hear Shrinu me from me the three kinds of happiness, three vidham sukham, by which one enjoys yatra ramante through practice abhyasat, and by which one comes nigachati to the end antam of distress dukkha.
Yeah, so now here from me three kinds of happiness. So happiness in three modes will be described now. So by which one enjoys through practice, abhyasat, and by which one comes nigachati to the end of distress, and dukkhantam. Okay, so dukkhantam is one aspect of happiness. Okay, like that. Yeah. Okay, there is no purport here. Yeah, purport is there combined. I think, yeah, 36 and 37. Yeah, so we'll read together, I think. Yeah, both are here. Okay. Yatad agre visham eva प्राणिनाम प्राण परिणामे अमृतो उपमम तत्सुखम सात्विकम प्रोक्तम आत्मबुद्धि प्रसादजम. Yeah, please read.
That happiness, that sukham, which is like poison in the beginning, a grey visham eva, but in the end is compared to nectar, pari
Name.
pariname amrita upama, the and which is born of the satisfaction of one's intelligence in the self. Atma buddhi prasada jam is said proktam to be in the mode of goodness, sattvikim.
Yeah. So this is happiness in the mode of goodness. So what are the characteristics? So in the beginning, it's like poison, and in the end, it is like nectar. Okay. Agre visham pariname amrita, and which is born of the satisfaction of one's intelligence in the self. Atma buddhi prasadajam. Okay, satisfaction in the self is said to be in the mode of goodness. Yeah, please read.
A conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again. Thus, he chooses the chewed. But sometimes, in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from material entanglement by association with Great Soul. In other words, a conditioned soul is always engaged in some type of sense gratification. But when he understands by good association that it is only a repetition of the same thing, and he is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness, he is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so called happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, continue.
In the pursuit of self realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison, but if one is successful in following the regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar and he enjoys life.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying this about Krishna consciousness also. Yeah, so the conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness, okay, bhog, again and again, okay, puna puna charvita charvananam. But sometimes in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from material entanglement by the association of great soul. Okay, Brahman Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Leta Bish. Then he comes into association of devotees and that gains the Agyat Sukriti, then gains Shraddha, then he starts his bhakti like that. And another thing Prabhupada is saying, conditioned soul is always engaged in some times of bhoga, sense enjoyment. But when he understands in good association, devotee association, that is only a repetition of the thing, then he is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness, not actual happiness like that. Yeah. So even in the self-realization process, here Prabhupada is saying one has to follow many rules. Okay, yama and niyama. What are things to be done? What is that to be avoided? Like to control the mind and the senses, sama and dama, and to concentrate the mind on the self. So many rules and regulations are there which one need to follow. So all these in the initial days, like it may be very difficult, bitter like poison. Okay, so like Rupa Goswami says that the jaundice conditioned living entity, he will feel the sugarcane juice to be pittopatapta rasnas narochi kanu. So because he is having the pittopatapta, he is basically having pitta disease, the bile, and he is having jaundice. So narochi kanu. Okay, so he is having no taste for the holy name and other things. So in this analogy, he's speaking that how like a jaundice patient has no taste for the sugarcane juice. Similarly, the conditioned soul does not have the taste for the spiritual practices. So that's why they look like poison. So then what is the solution? He says, Kintu adarat anudinam khalushaiva jushta swadvi kramad hanti tadgal swadvi krama tadgad mool hantri. Like that. So the solution he says is that kintu adarat, but with respect. He should what do adarat anudinam every day. He should continue the practice. Okay. By that, what will happen? The same poison like or bitter, the jaundice conditioned phase will go away, and he will taste the same sugarcane juice as like sweet nectar drink like that. Mm. So that is the analogy given. So similarly here Prabhupada is saying. So in the beginning it may be very, very bitter, very bitter. So Visham to what he says, Agre Visham. Yeah. But Pariname Amrita Upamam compared to Parinama in the Parinam it is Amrita Upamam compared to Amrita like that. So that is what Prabhupada is saying. Yeah. Yeah. Please read this.
The Lord next promises to tell about the three types of happiness in first half of the verse. Note happiness is the goal of actions. He describes happiness in the mode of goodness, goodness in 1.5 verses, starting with Abhyasat Ramate, the happiness in which there is satisfaction arising from repeated practice, Abhyasat, not a sudden appearance of satisfaction, as in contact with sense objects, enjoying which one crosses samsara, dukha, dukhantam nigacchati, which in the beginning agre appears to be poison, filled with lots of suffering, because of the difficulty in controlling the mind, because of Atma separate from body has not yet manifested itself, but which becomes sweet like the falling of streams of nectar, which the attainment of samadhi, pariname, from manifestation of Atma is as separate from body, which arise from the purity of intelligence related to Atma. Such happiness is in the mode of goodness. Purity here means complete extinction of the contamination arising from contact with material objects.
Yeah. So one thing Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying here that the kind of enjoyment which one gets from the sense objects is very quick. He's saying but in this rules and regulations practicing, there is no sudden appearance of satisfaction. Okay, so there is a type of difference between the happiness which one gets from the sense objects and the practice of yoga. Okay, so the comparison is not appropriate. So the yoga practice can give satisfaction which is eternal. Okay, and it will never go away, even though it did not come immediately. Just like when you switch on the fan with the speed highest, maximum 5 speed, suppose. So immediately that air will not come. It will take some time for it to go to that speed and then the air will come. And then one can feel the dissipation of heat. But the sense gratification, happiness is like immediately it comes and immediately it goes. And it also what it does, it makes one bored of it. Okay, for some time it will be looking very interesting, but after that it will become boring. The same sense object will not have any attractiveness like that. So before one purchases some object, it's very attractive. But after he has purchased, then after 1 week, 2 week, it is just like any other old object, and he is aspiring for some new object now. Correct. So that is a type of enjoyment in the material realm. But in spiritual realm, the yoga enjoyment is not like that. It comes late, but if it comes, it will be eternal like that. And whoever is ready to pay that price of waiting patiently and doing even though it feels like poison in the beginning, they will only be qualified to get that enjoyment like that. Okay. Next, 38th verse. Vishena indriya samyogad yattad agre amritam upamam pariname visham eva tatsukham rajasam smritam. So now he is saying that happiness which is in the mode of passion. Okay. Yeah. Somebody else can read. Sarveshri Radhika Mata, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. That happiness, that sukham, which arises from the contact, samyogat, of the senses, indriya, with the objects, vishya, which in the beginning is like nectar, agre amrita upamam, but in the end is like poison. Pariname visam iva is considered smritam to be in the mood of passion, rajasam.
Yeah. So happiness in mode of passion. Yeah. So what are the characteristics? So main characteristic here is that in the beginning it's very it's joyous, but later it will feel like poison, like that. Hmm. So many examples are there. We'll read the purport first. Yeah, Mati, please read.
A young man and a woman meet, and the senses derive the young man to see her, to touch her, and to have sexual intercourse. In the beginning, that this may be very pleasing to the senses, but at the end or after some time, it becomes just like poison. They are separated or there is divorce. There is lamentation, there is sorrow, etc. Such happiness is always in the mode of passion. Happiness derived from a combination of the senses and the sense object is always a cause of distress and should be avoided by all means.
Yeah. So basically, the point Prabhupada is making is happiness, which is derived from combination of senses. So if one is thinking that the I will get the long-term enjoyment or the eternal enjoyment by the combination of senses, then he will not be having the expectations met. Okay. So here that's why he is saying happiness derived from combination of the senses and sense object is always a cause of distress. If one has this understanding only, okay, that I will always get enjoyment and the purpose of this example when he is giving young man and young woman. So purpose of coming together is only enjoyment. Then there will be separation or there will be divorce. Okay. So the understanding if it is better, it's more mature. Okay. Then they can go for longer time. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. And such kind of enjoyment should be avoided by all means. Okay. So those who are looking only for enjoyment in that relationship will be suffering like that. Yeah, those who have a balanced understanding, okay, they will be continuing. Okay, please read this.
That happiness which arises from relationship, some yogat of the senses, such as the eye and skin, with the sense objects such as youthful form or touch, and which in the beginning is like nectar, but being very enjoyable, but which becomes full of suffering like poison because of causing one to attain hell, is happiness in the mode of passion.
Yeah, so if one is having wrong understanding of the combination, some yoga or the interaction or relationship is about human beings. Yeah, so whenever any contact or any interaction is there of the senses and the sense object, like one may be enjoying some gulab jamun or some pakoda like that. So initially it will be sometime good, but after a certain quantity of thing he has eaten, then he will start getting the effects of overeating like that. So if one has only that understanding that I will only enjoy, if this sense object I get, I will only enjoy, then that will lead to lot of suffering. But if he understands that yes, if it is in goodness, he has a discrimination that yes, for some time there may be enjoyment, but there will be other time also where I will have pain from the same sense object. Okay, from the same relationship, I will also get pain. Okay, if that is also there in understanding, then he can be there longer. Okay, and he has the proper understanding. Yeah, and then he can focus also on higher goals like spirituality. Yeah. Yeah, next page 39th. Yad agre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanah nidralasya pramadotham tattamasam udahritam. Yeah, please read, Mataji.
Yes. Should I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, continue.
And that happiness, yet sukham, which from beginning agree to end, anubandhe, cha, dilutes the life,
Self.
atmana, it dilutes the self, atmana mohanam, and which is produced from sleep, laziness, and illusion. Nidra alas pramada uttam is said udahritam to be in the mode of ignorance tamasam.
Yeah, happiness in the mode of ignorance. So what is the characteristic of the mode of ignorance happiness? So that which from beginning, agre, to anubandhe, to the end, dilutes the self, atma mohanam, means keeps one in illusion that I'm enjoying, but actually is suffering. And which is produced from sleep, laziness, like trying to enjoy in dream, or like the example of camel is given. He is eating the thorny bushes, and then he is thinking I'm enjoying. So even though it is suffering, he is in illusion that he is enjoying. So that is the illusion part. Okay, nidra alasya pramad uttham, born from all these things, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Yeah, please read.
One who takes pleasure in laziness and in sleep is certainly in the mode of darkness, ignorance, and one who has no idea how to act and how not to act is also in the mode of ignorance. For the person in the mode of ignorance, everything is illusion. There is no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. For the person in the mode of passion, there might be some kind of ephemeral happiness in the beginning and at the end distress. But for the person in the mode of ignorance, there is only distress both in the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, so but he does not know that it is distress. He is in illusion that I am enjoying. Otherwise, the person will not do only, no? Somebody knows that it is giving me pain. Even ignorance person will not do. So he does not know that this drinking liquor, I am lying on the street, I am so much in painful condition. He does not know. He is enjoying in the street. So like that he is feeling. So nobody does anything which will give distress. So only the person who is in goodness or passion, sometimes they can see that this person is suffering. Okay, those who are others walking on the street, they can see, "Arey, this person is suffering in the gutter." But he is thinking, I am in the heaven, like that. So it is not distressful for him at that time. But later when he wakes up, he will see so many wounds on his body, he will have so much pain, then he may understand. But again, after some time, he will go and drink to forget that pain. So this is in mode of ignorance person. Yeah. So these all everything is in illusion. Everything illusion. And from beginning to end, everything is suffering. Yeah. So in passion there will be some temporary happiness, but in goodness, in ignorance, that is also not there. Yeah. Yeah, please read.
That happiness which from its inception agree and in its maturity is an illusion for the self, covering the truth nature of things, mohanam atmana, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and inattention is happiness in the mode of ignorance. Alasya means lethargy concerning use of the senses. Pramada means lack of attention to what should be done and what should not be done.
Yeah. So this person, he knows that "Arey, I am dreaming and in dream only I am enjoying, but still he will continue sleeping. Even though he knows that this is not real happiness, this is not what I want, still he will continue. That is an illusion he will do. Yeah. Okay, next 40. न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं यद् यद् एभिः स्यात्रिभिर्गुणैः. Yeah. Gayatri Mata, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. There is no being, na tat asti sattvam, either on earth, Prithvyam, were, or again among the demigods in the higher planetary system, Devi, Deveshu, were, Puna, that can be liberated, Muktam, Yatsya, from these three modes, Abhi, Tribhi, Gune, born of material nature, Prakriti, Jai.
Yeah, so there is no living entity who can be completely free of these three modes in the material world, like that. Okay, whether it is from lower planetary system or middle planetary system or the upper planetary system. Okay. So no one can be fully liberated of the three modes. So it will be either one of the three or mixture of three or one more other less, like that. Yeah, please read this short.
The Lord here summarizes the total influence of the three modes of material nature all over the universe.
Yeah, so total influence is there of these three modes all over the universe. Okay, so there are living entities in all three modes. Okay, and demigods or whoever, asuras, charna, vidyadhara, or even Brahma, everybody is influenced by these three modes. Okay, yeah, please read.
Summarizing the meaning of this topic, the Lord includes here all other things that he did not mention in this world among men, in the heavens of Swarga, among the Devas, among all creatures in creation from Brahma down to immovable entities. There is no living entity, Sattvam, and no object which is free of the three gunas arising from Prakriti. Among all things made of the three gunas, those in the mode of goodness should be accepted because they alone are useful, and those things in the lower modes should be rejected.
Yeah, so everybody or everything or every planet is having this modes of three gunas, basically three modes of material, all arising from Prakriti. Daivi Esha Gunamayi. So Prakriti is called Gunamayi, made up of gunas. Okay, like that. So just like we have a rope. So in the rope, there are many small ropes by which it is made. So like that, Prakriti is made up of these three ropes. That is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And by that combination, a strong rope is made, by which everybody is dancing to her dictates, like that. So among all things made of the three gunas, those in the mode of goodness. So what one can accept out of all this is mode of goodness object. That's why Krishna says Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. All those which are in goodness can be accepted by devotees and can be engaged in devotional service also. Like that. Yeah. Okay. Any questions what we discussed till now? So last section we discussed about happiness, determination, and intelligence, buddhi, understanding basically in three modes. Okay. Now next section Krishna is going to describe the second part of the yoga ladder is Sakam to Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay, what are the practices and how one goes from motivated to unmotivated work basically in karma. Okay, just 1 minute. Correct. So continue next section 41 to 48. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudranam cha Parantapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair yes, Gayatri Mati, continue, please.
O chastiser of the enemy, Param Tapa, the duties, Karmani of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudranam cha are divided Pravibhaktani according to the qualities, Gune, born of their own natures, Swabhava, Prabhave.
Yeah. So now Krishna is speaking about these four categories of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra Varnas. And they are divided according to what? Gunay, according to the qualities. Okay. Born of their own natures. Okay. Swabhava Prabhavaya. Okay. Okay. We'll read Baldevidya Bhushan. Yeah. Yeah, please read.
Though all things are composed of the three gunas, if the four varnas perform their prescribed activities with the thought of worshipping the Lord, those activities will produce steadiness in jnana and lead to liberation. In order to express this idea, the Lord begins a new topic, explaining it in 6 verses. The word Shudra Nam is separated from the compound of the other three varnas to indicate that Shudras are not twice born.
Yeah. So, though all things are composed of three gunas, like that was the last verse Krishna spoke, verse number 40. Okay. This was told 18.40. If the four varnas perform their prescribed duties, prescribed activities with the thought of worshipping the Lord, Vishnu aradhate pantha, nannatattoshakaranam. For the purpose of pleasing Lord Vishnu, thought of worshipping the Lord, those activities will produce steadiness. Steadiness in what? They are whatever they are doing, whichever path they have taken. So they sakam karma, nishkam karma, jnana, and that will lead to liberation. That will produce steadiness in their path, progress in the path, and attainment of goal, that is liberation. Okay. So in order to explain this idea, now 41 to 48 will be spoken. Okay. That how worshipping Vishnu, even though being in three modes, will take you above out of these three modes and give liberation. Okay, that is what is being spoken in this section. And Shudranam, so this is a little technical thing that explained separately because they cannot be Dvija. Yeah, continue.
The actions of the four varnas are divided by scripture according to the gunas which appear from impressions coming from previous lives of the individual. Note, according to Ramanuja, Anubhavaja, Smriti, Hetu, Vasna, Samskaras or impressions, also called vasanas, are the modifications of knowledge which cause memory of previous experience. They exist as knowledge, which is an attribute of jiva, and produce memories of previous experience under certain conditions. Thus, the four varnas endowed with the gunas have the activities discussed in the next verses.
Yeah. So next verse that will discuss about the gunas they have been endowed with from the past life basically. So many times, yeah, obviously we say that it's not dependent on birth. The Varna basically, whether one is a Kshatriya or Brahmana, all these are by qualities. Prabhupada also speaks it many places. But Prabhupada also speaks at many places, and also in 10th canto, there is a verse regarding Garga Muni itself, himself, that how one is by birth a Brahmana, how is one is by birth a Kshatriya. Why that is said, why birth is also given emphasis sometimes? Because birth is not by chance. Okay, birth is not that suddenly somebody came into the womb of a mother by chance and then by chance he took birth in a family. No, it is all decided based on what is his past activities, what is his past karma, what is his past experience. So if he has practicing Brahmana qualities in the past life, that qualities will force him to take birth in a Brahmana family. Okay, like sixth chapter also Bhagavad Gita it says, correct? Sunicheva Sopake, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe, correct? yogi bhrashta abhijayate. So if somebody has fallen from the path of yoga bhrashta abhijayate, then he will be taking birth in a certain family where his practice will be facilitated. Okay, and then when he is taking birth in the next life, so Jigyasu, he will become a Jigyasu person who is inquisitive about the kinds of thing he has been doing in past life. And then he says, Sabda Brahmati Vartate, like that. He will be able to overcome just the general instructions of the Vedas, but he will go to the specific path he was practicing past life, like that. So same thing here, it is told that it is not just by there, because Arjuna also, if we see, Krishna says him, uh, you are born with divine qualities. We read in 16th chapter. Okay, you are born with divine qualities, oh Arjuna. Okay, so Daivi qualities you are born with, like that Krishna said. So it is also that in birth one gets the past life qualities transferred. That's what here Ramanujacharya's commentary, here Baldev Vidabhushan has quoted, that certain samskaras or impressions we don't teach to the children, but we see they already know somehow that some children are very good at playing music, some children are very good at speaking, some children are good at some things particular, so they carry it from past life, like that. Yeah, please read.
A person is classed as Brahmana with the predominance of sattva because of his peaceful nature. One is classed as Kshatriya, predominantly Rajaguna with sattva as a secondary mode because of having the nature of controlling others. One is classed as Vaishya, predominantly of Rajas mode with tamas as secondary mode because of a predominance of dealing with money. One is classed as Shudra, predominantly of Tamagun, with Rajas as a secondary mode because of nature of foolishness. The activities of each will be described next.
Yeah, so Baldev Vidyabhushan is giving the composition. Like we have any medicine, there will be composition of that medicine. Oh, this chemical is this much, this chemical is this much. Like that, what is the composition of a Brahmana person? If he is actually born in a Brahmana family, or he is having the quality of a Brahmana. Okay. Now, obviously, in Kali Yuga, birth is not so much important. Many reasons are told. Okay, but here, at least here it is told that if he is showing the quality of a Brahmana, then we have to understand that yes, there is a predominance of sattva, and others are very minor. Okay, only one mode is generally not possible. Others are also in minor, like that. But somebody is there, then he has predominantly of Rajaguna. Okay, and Sattva as secondary, Tamoguna very little, like that. And somebody is in a Vaishya class, then predominantly of Rajas mode with Tamoguna as the secondary mode. Okay. So here Sattva is not there, but in Kshatriya there was Sattva as the secondary, like that. And Shudra, like Brahmana, is opposite to him. So Shudra will be predominantly in Tamoguna. That's why in the verse he is told that he is not be able to be given second birth or second initiation, like that. Hmm. Okay. 42. समोदमस्तपः शौचं शान्तिर्आर्जवम् एव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानमास्तिक्यं ब्रह्म कर्म स्वभावजम्. Yes, or somebody else can read. Okay, Vrajananda Krishna Prabhu.
Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness are the natural qualities and duties by which the Brahmanas act.
Yeah, so now the characteristics or the natural qualities and duties of a Brahmana is told here by Krishna, that how one can identify that who is a Brahmana. Okay, what qualities he should have, like that. So the list is given here. We read. We'll see the explanation also. Yeah, please read this.
This verse describes the natural activities generated through his previous impressions of the Brahmana. His activities are controlling the internal sense, antakarana, samaha, controlling the external senses, damaha, accepting pains to the body which are prescribed by scriptures, cleanliness of two types, internal and external, saucham, tolerance, kshanti, straightforward dealings, not being crooked, arjavam, understanding the superior and inferior categories of existence from scripture, jnana, realizing the ultimate process defined in the scriptures, vijnana, having firm faith in the truth presented in scripture, astiyam, shyam, that the Supreme Lord Hari is to be understood by all the Vedas, that he alone is the cause of everything, that he is to be worshipped by actions prescribed by himself, that he is to be satisfied by devotion, and that one should offer everything, including oneself, to him.
Yeah. So these are the qualities which is explained here. Yeah, continue.
These are the actions of the Brahmana which arise as his nature. Even if these types of actions appear occasionally in Kshatriya or other Varna, with an increase of sattva, these actions are mentioned in relation to the Brahmana because his predominance of sattva. Thus it is said in Vishnu Smriti, Kshama,
Yeah, read the
Satya,
translation.
Dama, Shama.
The same things. Yeah, just
Yeah.
read the
Forgiveness,
translation.
truthfulness, control, cleanliness, charity, restraints of the senses, non-violence, service to Guru, visiting holy places, compassion, straightforwardness, freedom from greed, worship of devas and brahmanas, and freedom from envy are the general qualities of the Brahmana, Vishnu Smriti 2.16-17.
Okay. Next. Sauryam tejo dhritir daksham युद्धे चापि अपलायनम दानम ईश्वर भावश्च क्षत्रम कर्म स्वभावजम. Yeah, continue, Prajit.
Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities and duties by which the Kshatriyas act.
Yeah. So the qualities of Kshatriya. So what are the Shauryam? That is heroism, power, determination, dhriti, resourcefulness, daksham, skillfulness, basically. Courage in battle, yudhya chapi apalayanam, danam, generosity, ishwar bhava, leadership. Means wanting to take care of others, basically. Okay. So not that anybody who always argues with others, always wants to fight, he is a Kshatriya. No. He is a Shudra, basically. Kshatriya is that person who wants to fight for the sake of protecting the citizens or protecting the weak, like that. He has a purpose for fighting. That's why secondary quality is goodness. Okay. And primary is passion. Yeah. So these are the qualities and duties of Kshatriya. Yeah, please read.
This verse describes the activities of the Kshatriya. He is not afraid in battle, Shauryam. He cannot be surpassed by others, Teja. In the times of great stress, his senses do not become fatigued, Riti. He is expert in accomplishing his tasks, Laksha. Even if his death is certain, he does not flee, turning his back to the enemy. Without restrictions, he gives up his wealth, Danam. He shows powers of domination amongst those who should be controlled and transgress the laws for protection of the citizens, Ishwar Bhava. These are the natural activities of a Kshatriya.
Yeah. So he is not afraid in battle, cannot be surpassed by others, means cannot be surpassed by others of lower skill or lower strength. Okay, because every Kshatriya has another one who is more powerful than him. So he cannot be surpassed by others who is lower than him. And for many days he may be fighting, but his senses do not get fatigued. Like many warriors in the Mahabharata also, 18 days war. Correct. So such a long days of war also, they don't get fatigued like that. Next, 44. कृषि गो रक्षा वाणिज्यम वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजम परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम. Yeah, please read, please.
Farming, cow protection, and trade are the natural work of the Vaishyas, and the service to others is the natural work of the Shudras.
Yeah, so paricharya, these are the natural work qualities of Vaishya and Shudra. So paricharyatmakam karma, that is for Shudra. Okay. Yeah, please read.
The activities of the Vaishyas are described. He tills the land with the plow for producing food crops. He raises and protects animals. He engages in buying and selling. Loaning money to increase wealth is also included. These are the natural activities of the Vaishya. Then the activities of the Shudra is described. The activities of the Shudra is to serve the twice born, those of the other three Varnas. These descriptions are representative of the activities of the four ashramas, not an exhaustive list.
Yeah, so whatever was told is not exhaustive list, but the main characteristics or qualities like that. Okay. 45. स्वे स्वे कर्माणि अभिरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्म निरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु. Okay. Amit, are you there? Want to read?
Yes, Guruji. Krishna Dandavat.
Yeah, please.
By being devoted to his own work, every man can attain perfection. Now, hear from me how one engaged in his own duty attains perfection.
Yeah. So now Krishna is speaking a very important philosophical thing, that all these people being devoted to their own work. Own is very important here, not others' work. Sway sway karmani abhiratah. Okay, so if there is Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, no problem. Whichever qualities you may have and whichever mode you may have more or less, no problem. You do your own work. Okay, don't do others' work. No. Goodness will be better, na? Goodness is highest. We will do all goodness. No, that will not be fruitful. Okay, after some time, the Shudra will give up the goodness work because his mode is of something else. So initially it may look, yes, that is higher. We should all do highest. That is not possible. So Shastras prescribe the activities as per the level of the person so that he can come to the next level. Okay. By doing that, one is doing the best. Okay. That's why it is glorified. Swesve karmani abhiratah, being rata or engaged into one's own activity prescribed by the scriptures will give the best outcome. Like that. Every man, Naraha, can attain perfection. Everybody will attain perfection, no problem. Whoever you are. Krishna is not saying no, only Brahmana will attain perfection. He is saying everybody will attain perfection. Naraha. How? Swese karmani abhiratah. Do whatever is prescribed for you. Okay, some siddhim labhate. Now here, Shrinu, from me, how one engaged in his own duty attains perfections. Swakarma niratah siddhim vindanti. Yeah, please read.
These activities give rise to knowledge. Engaging in activity prescribed according to one's varna and ashrama, the performer attains steadiness in jnana, samsiddhim, which manifest from within the activities, like a lotus flower arising from its root in the mud. But how can actions which are said to cause bondage lead to steadiness in jnana, which is the cause of liberation from bondage? The Lord then explains that this can happen by particular intelligence in action.
Yeah. So now, first thing is that one has one will rise to the knowledge, basically Jnana platform. Okay, this is not ordinary knowledge. This is Jnana platform, which was spoken in the beginning. This when the section started. So this is for going from uh, karma to jnana platform. Okay. So this verse is also for that. So one will engage in prescribed activities. Swese karmani abhiratah, according to one's own varna. So varna is made of composition of the modes. So as per the modes, the shastras will prescribe the activity. Do that. What will happen? You will gain knowledge, jnana, purification of heart will happen, and varna and ashrama both. Okay, and the performer attains steadiness in jnana. Okay, means the knowledge which he gains by doing activities prescribed to him, that is jnana platform he will rise. He will be steady in that. He will not fall down like that. Back to karma, like that. Okay, so previously we have discussed sakama karma yoga. Anybody is first doing activities with motivation, then he progresses to nishkama karma yoga. Then he does activities without any motivation, but he sticks to the activities, knowing that these activities will purify me. Then he goes to Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, any one path he can choose, like that. And then both of them will go and get liberation. That is a path of yoga ladder, basically. And any one of them at any time will come in contact with devotee, can practice bhakti before liberation. Okay. So this is a yoga ladder. So now he is saying by doing your prescribed activity, whichever platform you may be, whichever ashrama, varnam you may be, do it, you will attain the path, the position of jnana. Okay. And then you will be qualified for liberation. So which manifests from within the activities. Okay. So previously the example was given, just like a rice uh, is there, husk is there outside, and there inside there is a grain. So the grain is compared to the jnana, and the outside is compared to the nishkama karma yoga. This is an analogy given by Baldev Bhushan in the fifth or sixth chapter. Yeah. So basically, the rice grain is there. So that is like jnana, which is protected by nishkam karma yoga externally. Okay. And it is the essence of the whole thing. Nobody eats the outside husk like that. Another example here, Baldev Bhushan is giving now is the lotus. So just like there is a lotus, so the lotus is born from the mud. Now anybody can say this mud which is there is very, very dirty. How can something very fragrant and beautiful come out of mud? It's not possible. So that's how is the comparison here of jnana to the muddy karma yoga, which is initially with some motivation and filled with modes of material nature. But out of these modes of material nature comes out a flower which is beyond the modes, which is fragrant, which does not have the qualities of the mud, like that. So this is the uh, what we say, the glory of prescribed duties. So how one will go from here to here? By doing the prescribed duties. So I say karmani abhiratah. So one being into the modes will reach to the path where one will get liberated now. Okay. So somebody is giving an argument, but how can actions which are said to cause bondage? So these all are muddy. These are all causing bondage. How can this lead to steadiness in jnana? How can this produce a flower which is fragrant and beautiful and which can be offered to God like that? How is it possible that this is coming? So this is the argument. Lord then explains that this can happen by particular intelligence in the action. What is that intelligence? Now, so that was already told. Swesya karmani bhiratah. Like that. Now we will see next verse 46. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam येन सर्वम इदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तम अभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दन्ति मानवः. Yeah, please continue.
By worshipping him from whom all living beings have come, and by whom all this is pervaded, a man can attain perfection through the performance of his own work.
Yes. So Krishna is not saying worship me. Okay. He says that in Bhagavad Gita other place also, but here he is saying indirect statement. Because he's okay, we'll read the purport. Okay, then we'll discuss. Yeah, please read.
As stated in the 15th chapter, all living beings are fragmental parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Supreme Lord is the beginning of all living entities. This is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra Janmadi Asya Yataha. The Supreme Lord is therefore the beginning of life of every living entity. And as stated in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord, by his own two energies, his external energy and internal energy, is all pervading. Therefore, one should worship the Supreme Lord with his energies. Generally, the Vaishnavas devotees worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy.
Yeah. So here, very simple thing. One is that Krishna is saying that how every living entity is part and parcel of, Prabhupada is saying that how every living entity is part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Okay. And also quoting a reference from Vedanta Sutra Janmadeyasya Yataha, that everything is born from him. Asya Yataha. The Supreme Lord is therefore the beginning. Yeah. And in the 7th chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead so told about his para Shakti, apara Shakti, correct, external and internal energies. So the devotees worship the internal energy like that. Yeah, continue.
His external energy is a perverted reflection of the internal energy. The external energy is the background, but the Supreme Lord, by the expansion of his plenary portion as Paramatma, is situated everywhere. He is the super soul of all demigods, all human beings, all animals, everywhere. One should therefore know that as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, one has his duty to render service unto the Supreme. Everyone should be engaged in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness. This is recommended in this verse.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying the Krishna conscious application of this, that everyone has to engage in devotional service and be fixed up in his service in full Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Yeah. So whoever he may be. And yeah, the point regarding external energy, last time he told internal energy, generally the Vaishnavas, they worship or engage with the internal energy. And external energy is perverted reflection of that. And it is just a background. But the Supreme Lord, by the expansion of his plenary portion as Paramatma, is situated everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, continue.
Everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesh, the master of the senses. And by the result of the work in which one is engaged, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, should be worshipped. If one thinks always in this way, in full Krishna consciousness, then by the grace of the Lord, he becomes fully awake, aware of everything. This is the perfection of life. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 12.7, Tesham aham samudharta. The Supreme Lord himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee. That is the highest perfection of life. In whatever occupation one may be engaged, if he serves the Supreme Lord, he will achieve the highest perfection.
Yeah. So, same thing, Prabhupada is continuing that how to attain the highest perfection as it is told in this verse by engaging in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. So, whatever activities one may be engaged, if one always thinks in this way, means what is the way? By the result of the work in which one is engaged, the Supreme Person of Godhead should be worshipped. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhosi, dadashi, yat tapasyasi konte amat kuru, tat kuru swamadarpanam. So do it for me, my pleasure, or offer it to me. Yeah. So if one thinks in this way, in full Krishna consciousness, then by grace of the Lord, he will become fully aware of everything. Like that. Okay. Yeah, please read.
From the Lord arises, from the from the Lord arise all living entities. By him the whole universe is pervaded. Worshipping that Lord who is situated as the soul of all the devatas, such as Indra. Sorry, I'll just read again. Worshipping that Lord who is situated as the soul of all devatas, such as Indra, by one's activities, offering the act to him after performing them by thinking, may the Lord be satisfied with the act. Men attain steadiness in jnana, siddhi.
Yeah, so a very minute point is there spoken here. Baldev Devotion is saying, worshipping that Lord, which like Krishna only, who is situated as the soul of all the devatas, such as Indra, by one's activities, by worshipping him through one's activities, offering the act to him after performing them. So, in the commentary to uh, the verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, there it is said that the offering is done after obviously preparing the food. But for Vaishnavas, generally they have the motivation for cooking itself for the Lord. Okay. So there is a fine difference there between this what is told here for Jnana Siddhi, that after the activity is done, it is offered to Lord. But for Vaishnavas or for devotees, it is while they are doing the activity, they think that it is be for the Lord, and they offer the activity as well as the fruits of the activity both to the Lord. Okay, so and before the activity also they have this conception that I want to do it for the pleasure of the Lord. So that is the difference in karma as well as in bhakti. Okay, so karma is after the activity is done, it is offered. Whereas in bhakti, it is done before even the activity is started, it is done or it's thought to be pleasing to the Lord. Okay, 47. श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वानुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. Nima Rajendra Prabhu, please read.
It is better, Shreyan, to do one's own duty imperfectly, swadharma vigunaha, than to perform another's duty perfectly, paradharmat swa anushtitat, by doing work born of one's own nature, swabhava niyatam karma kurvan, one does not incur sin, na apnoti kilbisham.
Yeah, so well, same thing. Krishna is saying that swe swe karmani abhirata, he told previously. Now he's saying Shreyan Swadharma Viguna, even though it is not perfect, but one should do only his own work. Okay, not the work of others. If he desires progress in the path of yoga or wants liberation, like that. Okay, so rather than doing others' activity perfectly, paradharma swa anushtita, sunishtita, like that. By doing work born of one's own nature, one does not incur sin. Okay, so that's why Srimad Bhagavatam also there is a definition of papa and punya. Swese karmani. So one who does his own karma, that is parikirtitaha, that is known as punya. And when one does activities of others, then it is called as dosha, like that. Yeah, please read.
One's occupational duty is prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. As already discussed in previous verses, the duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra are prescribed according to their particular modes of nature. One should not imitate another's duty. A man who is by nature attracted to the kind of work done by Shudras should not artificially claim to be a Brahmana, although he may have been born into a Brahmana family. In this way, one should work according to his own nature. No work is abominable if performed in the service of the Supreme Lord.
So here Prabhupada is giving very important thing. One's occupational duty, she is prescribed in Bhagavad Gita, like what 3 4 verses it was told. What are the qualities of a Brahmana? What are his activities? What are the quality of Vaishya and Shudra and Kshatriya? Everything was told. Qualities as well as their activities. So as already discussed in previous verses, the duties of a Brahmana Kshatriya, these are all described. one should not imitate others' duty, even though he may like to do it, he may want to do it. Okay, like that. A man who is by nature attracted to the kind of work done by Shudras should not artificially claim to be a Brahmana. So if he is naturally having the qualities of a Shudra, then he should accept and do it, but not artificially claim to be a Brahmana. Like Eklavya, this example is given. So he was born in a Nishada community, which is like a outcast community. So even though he was trying to become like a Kshatriya, but he did not have the qualities of a Kshatriya, like Yuddhecha Apalayanam, okay, Shaurya, all the Veer, all these qualities which are described, and that primarily passion and secondary that is in goodness, that is Kshatriya, but he was not like that. So, and he was, uh, even though he may be a very good archer, but it was not very much, skill was not very much given importance there. Okay, so Dronacharya did not accept him as a Kshatriya, like that. Another example is like one should not imitate another's duty, just like uh, two people who are having different diseases. Somebody may have, suppose, the yeah, we discussed about jaundice, or somebody may have whatever other disease. Both are in the hospital and they are in the next to each other, different beds. And this person who is having jaundice, he may be drinking his medicine and it may be bitter to him. He cannot take the medicine of other just because it is sweet to him. His medicine may be bitter, but if he takes, suppose he has to take 3 times that medicine. He takes once only that medicine because it is bitter, his health will improve. But if he takes 3 times the medicine of others, so his health may degrade actually. Okay. So even though others' activities may be very, very natural, not natural, very, very means fascinating, and we may like, but it's not prescribed, then one should not do. And one more example we can give, if the person is sitting in the exam and he has made sure that he is going to copy in the exam only. And generally we have seen in exams, there is suppose 12th board exam and 10th board exam. One student will be 12th board, another will be 10th next to him. And then next person will be 12th board. In that, like that, on a bench, 3 people are there. Then next to him will be 10th board. Now, if he has want to copy it only, he has 2 choices. He can either turn back and copy in the 12th standard exam paper, which he is also writing, or he can copy the next person, which is 10th standard exam. Copying next person is very easy. He is also writing physics exam, science exam, and behind person also writing science exam, physics exam. So it may be that it's very difficult to copy from the behind person, but if he copies from the next person, 10th board exam person, he will not get any marks. So that which may look easy may not be always good for one to do. Yeah, continue.
The occupational duty of a Brahmana is certainly in the mode of goodness. But if a person is not by nature in the mode of goodness, he should not imitate the occupational duty of a Brahmana. For a Kshatriya or administrator, there are so many abominable things. A Kshatriya has to be violent to kill his enemies, and sometimes a Kshatriya has to tell lies for sake of diplomacy. Such violence and duplicity accompany political affairs, but a Kshatriya is not supposed to give up his occupational duty and try to perform the duties of a Brahmana.
Yeah, so these things we discussed, how one should not be imitating the duty of others. Yeah, continue.
One should act to satisfy the Supreme Lord. For example, Arjun was a Kshatriya. He was hesitating to fight the other party. But if such fighting is performed for the sake of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there need be no fear of degradation. In the business field also, sometimes a merchant has to tell so many lies to make a profit. If it does not do so, there can be no profit. Sometimes a merchant says, "Oh, my dear customer, for you, I am making no profit." But one should know that without profit, the merchant cannot exist.
Yeah, so these all things are very practical, and for this he will not incur sin for telling such lies, because something is allowed for him to maintain his livelihood. Okay, so for a Brahmana, this is never allowed. He has to be always speaking the truth. Okay, that is his profession. Yeah, continue.
Therefore, It should be taken as a simple lie if a merchant says that he is not making a profit. But the merchant should not think that because he is engaged in an occupation in which the telling of lies is compulsory, he should give up his profession and pursue the profession of a Brahmana. This is not recommended. Whether one is a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, or a Shudra doesn't matter if he serves by his work the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Brahmanas who perform different types of sacrifice sometimes must kill animals because sometimes animals are sacrificed in such ceremonies.
Yeah, so one may feel that "Arey, I'm having this Vaishya job. I will have to speak lies. Better let me just take up the dress of a Brahmana and become a Brahmana." So that is not recommended. So if one is, that's why it is said even in Varna also, in Ashrama also, it's not good to copy others. Like somebody is a Grihastha and then he is trying to practice like a Brahmachari, not taking responsibility of a family like that. I'm not saying Brahmachari are irresponsible, but they are more detached. So, and the person, and they are not so responsible for the maintaining their family. But who is more in the Grihastha ashram, he is directly involved and he is directly ready to maintain. He has to maintain. So they should not copy from a sannyasi or brahmachari that, oh, what they are doing, I'm also going to do like that. So these are not recommended things. Okay. Yeah, continue.
Similarly, if a Kshatriya engaged in his own occupation kills an enemy, there is no sin incurred. In the third chapter, these matters have been clearly and elaborately explained. Every man should work for the purpose of Yajna or for Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anything done for personal sense gratification is a cause of bondage. The conclusion is that everyone should be engaged according to the particular mode of nature he has acquired, and he should decide to work only to serve the supreme cause of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, so whatever one may have acquired the modes, either whichever varna or ashram, the main important thing is he should do that work for the satisfaction of Supreme Lord. So, as to keep things in right perspective, so this is for varnashrama perspective. Basically, uh, Vishnu aradhyate pantah. Okay. Na anyat tattosya karanam. The main thing in Varnashrama is to please Vishnu or do the activities for Lord Vishnu, whichever Varna or Ashrama one may belong to. Then he can become qualified to go to the next platform, that is the platform of Jnana Yoga, basically, by doing his karma. Okay, and as we already discussed, for devotees, these are not directly applicable. For devotees, they are already externally, they may be in the Varna or Ashrama sometime, but for them, the direct activities are Navavida Bhakti, direct engagement of in the devotional service. Even though they may be externally looking like, oh, they are doing some Shudra activity, they are doing some Vaishya activity, but actually that is not Vaishya or Shudra activity, but it is beyond the three modes. It is directly devotional service because they are doing it for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Okay, and that's higher. Okay, so we will pause here. Time is more. Next time we will continue with tomorrow 47 Baldev Vidyabhushan purport and then 48. Yes, Pratik Bro, any question?
Vijay, I have two questions.
Yeah,
First, on the last we discussed. So, Prabhuji, will this not create a dual personality kind of thing? Like we are externally doing whatever our varna or whatever currently occupation we have,
hmm.
we may have to lie sometimes to our managers. So like that we are doing. But in our spiritual practices, we are following Navavida Bhakti. So, should we just trust the process, or should we actually endeavor to actually come to the standard of Vaishnava, or how Prabhuji exactly look at this?
You're saying lies in which aspect? Job.
Yes, I mean when we are externally behaving, I mean in the society or in
Correct.
office culture, everything. So we may not be like a full-fledged Vaishnava or a Brahmana. So
Hmm.
it creates sometimes a dual persona. So how should we look at, because sometimes we even ourselves realize at the end of the day, okay, I have made some mistake. I would have handled the situation differently. I would have not done something which is somewhat morally adjustment. So like that, Roji. So how should we look at this?
Okay, so whether that activity was done so that we can practice bhakti properly, or it was done like against the bhakti, means not saying the principles of bhakti. Sometimes we may have to do against the principles or tell some lie so that we can do our bhakti properly, like that. So if it is done like that, then no problem, because we have Sanatan Goswami, like he understood at a point of time that okay, yes, I will have to tell lies to Nawab Hussain Shah so that I can do my bhakti. So he told, and then he told, I am sick. And actually, he was not sick. Then later, also, when he had to escape, also, he told, I am going to Makkah for worshipping. So he did not want to go there. So basically, the point is that we should not be purposefully telling lies. If we can practice bhakti by speaking truth, that is good, best. But if not, sometimes we may have to speak lie, and that should be only for the purpose of we can practice bhakti, and it doesn't create a trouble in our bhakti, like that. Or we can get some time for bhakti, okay, but we should be fully responsible if there is some job which is there, and if we have taken commitment for that job, then we should give due time and the thing needed for that job, like that. So a devotee is not should not set bad example at the same time. Okay, that is the point. Yeah. So telling lies as such here, what is told about Vaishya, that is different than for what a devotee does. Like I gave example of Sanatan Goswami, like that. So for a Vaishya, it is for his livelihood. For here, it is for practicing bhakti. There is difference.
So, Prabhuji, this part I understood. So, for if it is conducive or if it is absolutely needed for bhakti, but
Yeah.
most of the time, what happens? It is out of our conditioning or it is out of our own crooked character. Sometimes
Okay.
we, I mean, by nature, we later we realize that okay, I would have handled it better, but sometimes it happens in a flow. So, like that, Prabhuji, I was.
Yeah. Means if one is wanting to overcome that, then by the path of bhakti, one will gradually get purified. But if one is wanting to continue that, then that is not good. Yeah.
Yes. And the second question is, previously you told that Varnashrama, this bhakti is independent or different than the Varnashrama which we understand. So, Prabhuji,
Hmm.
what is the role of Pancharatrika Brahman Diksha which we accept in bhakti? Is it just to practice bhakti, or because the same point we get that we have to come to at least a sattvic platform so that we can transcend everything altogether. But if it is independent, then why it is needed? So what is the role? I am little bit confused, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that Pancharatrika and these things should not be directly taken as a mode of goodness thing. Yeah, they are also like doing deity worship. Prabhupada tells many times that our mind need to be purified, and obviously your body is purified, and then one can actually come to the higher levels. That is told, but that is not equated to the go mode of goodness, the karmic activities like nishkam karma yoga or gyan yoga, like that. So that is different, and this is different. Okay. So and second thing is Pancharatrik Vidhi, which is there, that is included in the devotional service. And as you are saying that this, uh, what is another thing you said? Apart from Pancharatrika Vidhi, what is it? Okay, whatever. Basically, the principle is this only, that external one, whatever one is doing, that one he is doing to progress in bhakti only. Okay. Whereas where the other thing which is explained in Varna and Ashrama, yeah, in the case of Karma Yogi or the one who is a uh, Nishkam Karma practitioner, for them they have some desire for their own personal enjoyment, personal motives also they have. They are not like devotees who don't have, who have Anyabhilashita Shunyam, or those who want to practice Anyabhilashita Shunyam. For them it is clear they don't want to practice Anyabhilashita Shunyam. They have their desires which they want to fulfill by practicing yoga, karma yoga or jnana yoga. They want liberation. Devotees are not like that. They are completely different. They want to give up any type of enjoyment they want personally, but want only to give enjoyment to the Lord. So that is engaged in bhakti. being engaged in Pancharatrika also, or in the Bhagavad Vidya also, like that. So there is a difference. Okay, so we'll stop here. It's too late. Okay, tomorrow we can take more questions if anything. Either Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.